The most important tool in your workshop is your workbench. It's got to be flat. This one's not, and in today's video, we're going to flatten it. Hang on a second. I think it's important at this point to tell you that I've never done this before. I'm probably going to make mistakes, but we'll see how it goes and follow along and see how well I do or how badly I fail. I built this bench about 8 years ago. It is solid maple. The top is about 3.5 inches thick, and it has served well. It's nice and heavy, it's very stable, and I did make some mistakes. I thought I allowed for wood movement, but at the end, I can see where the edge banding that I put around it is kind of failing a little bit on me, and there is a crack. Here's my plan. I'll strip all the valises off of it. I'll take the edge banding off of it, and then I'll begin to bring it down. I've already looked at it with winding sticks. It's perfectly flat. It's not twisted in any way. It is high on this side and high on this side. There's a cup in the middle, and the cup is probably a 1/16 of an inch, so it does show up when I'm working. So that's what I got to do. The other thing I really would love to do, but I'm not sure I'm going to do today, is these dog holes I have down the center. I've never used them. They just get in the way. Now the ones at the far end I use with that little kind of semi-tail vise, and that works fine. So, a few things to repair, and let's get this thing started. Now, I need to take off that edge and off of this edge. I know that much. Now, how do I take it down? I have a number of tools here at my disposal that could be used. I have a scrub plane, narrow, but it does take a cross grain real nice and easy. I have an old Bedrock 606, also with an arced blade, not as strong as the scrub plane, but has that same kind of look to it. I have a number 8 joiner plane. This is a Lee Nielsen. That could certainly take down some lumber. If I have a lot to do, I could bring out the power planer. This is really good at taking down quickly without much effort, but I'm not sure yet. And then also, obviously, something like a very aggressive grit on a sandpaper, power sander, that could take down some of it. So what I'm going to do is, I know from the center line out, I need to take off a little bit. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the scrub plane and kind of work my way across that, see how it goes. I might then move up to the 606 and see how it goes. Once I've got it down to where I think it's getting close, then I'll probably move over to the joiner plane and then finally into a sander. So let's see what we got to go. So I'm almost there. I've got it down. There's still a little bit here in the center I'm working on, but it is a real task. You can see I had to lose my flannel shirt. I did cheat. I did use the power planer at the very edges of it to get it down a little bit quicker. I set it at like 1/64 of an inch. It had to come down a good bit, so a couple passes with that did the trick. That did help speed up the process, but I still have a little bit more to go. I'm going to get this finished up and then I'll get everything reassembled. We all know that the one tool you use more than any other tool in the workshop is your workbench. Maintaining it and keeping it flat is really important for proper usage and efficiency in your workshop. I like efficiency and I like working on things in the shop to gain efficiencies, like the workbench. I'm going to be building some drawers and tool storage under the bench in an upcoming video, working on this back wall a little bit to improve that. And we're going to be doing some tool restoration and some other things. I'm also working on a project right now to build an entertainment center and shelving for someone that's really into video gaming. And if you or your grandkids or your children are really into video gaming, you might be interested in seeing that. So click the subscribe and the like on this video. Hit the notification bell and you'll see all the upcoming videos that I have on shop efficiency and ways to improve your efficiency and your processes in the mix. So what I thought I'd do is I'd take my random orbital sander with 60 grit paper and kind of go over it, rough it up a little bit. You know, I've got some plane tracks, I've got some tear outs. I thought I'd bring that down a little bit and then reassess what I need to do next. All right, I have to admit, this was a big job. It's a lot of hard work getting this plane down, but what I did last night is I took my straight edge and using my feeler gauge to try and find low spots, my light so I can get a general idea, then using the level. And again, the level it wasn't important that the lumber's level. That's not why I'm using it. I'm using it as a reference to compare here to here. So I'm level here, I'm level here, I'm level here. So that means I've got a pretty flat, even space. Then I come across with this and kind of look at it for any dips or anything like that might not be in account for. And then I moved on. So I'm at a point now that she's just about finished and I want to fix one of my problems or one of my annoyances. And it's these dog holes across the middle here. My intention was that I'd be able to use this vise down here with some dogs and hold large pieces. I've never done that. I've never seen a need or value to that. So what I'm going to do is get rid of most of these. Now I'm going to leave two. I'm going to leave one here and one here. And then that way, I'm also going to add one here and one here. But what I'm going to do is I've got some oak dowels. I want to split those and put some wedges in it so that I can get these tightened up, because obviously the 3/4 inch dowel and a 3/4 inch hole aren't always snug. So that'll snug it up a little bit and that should do it. So I've taken my dowel, across the rings, I cut a kerf into it. I made some little wedges out of sapele just because I thought the contrast would look nice. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put these in this orientation where the rings are going in that direction. I'll get it down in there and then we'll start tapping that wedge. Now, if I go in too deep, I can still get from underneath and take a little rod and drive that up and out. Take a little flush cut saw. Get my wedge off there. And that'll work. What I'm doing now is fitting my edge banding back around this. Now, as it's been playing down, obviously, that means I got to cut the edges off of it. I wanted to thin this board over here down some so that I'm not as far away from the dog holes to the edge. And I'm doing a little bit on this side of trimming it up. Now, one of the pieces I've got at the very ends, I did thin this one down a little bit, so I mean, I'm gonna have to cut the ends of these off. So I'm kind of having to fit one, try the second one. I had to clip a little bit off the end there, and I'm just working my way back and around to get all of these to fit properly. So one of the things I got to worry about here is this mortise that's been cut out for my little tailstock kind of vise, and I don't want to get my alignment off here to there. So I trimmed a little bit off this end to give me some movement. I'm trying to line it up with this, and it should line up when I put the screw in. Now, I'm going to trim that a little bit off there. So the next thing I need to address is the edge banding that is still a little proud of the surface of the bench. Now, I had planed this down, so obviously this was going to stand proud. I did hit it with a joiner to bring it down some, but I really took a good bit off this side, so I need to bring this down some. So now, I'm going to do that with the trim router. I had the ball bearing right along the top of the bench, and that should bring this down to perpendicular and flush with the top. Now, the next step is I need to reinstall this little tail vise kind of thing. This is a Veritas product. It has been very serviceable to me. And I want to mount it back in here. Obviously, I've taken some off, so this doesn't fit down in here. It does overlap into this piece, and some of that's gone. So now what I gotta do is mark this in place so that I can trim this out. So I'm gonna use my marking knife. And I'll probably had to bring this down a little bit as well. For now, use a chisel and cut this out. Of course, a knife line is nice because now I can just set the chisel down into that knife line and I have good marking for it. So what I did is I used this trim router with a spiral bit on it, and I kind of roughed out a little bit there so I could get the depth right. Now I'm using a router plane to kind of bring it all into the corners. Okay, so take it down just a hair more. It should be in good shape. So there we go. It's all finished. I'm pleased. I'm tired. It took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. It took the better part of 2 days to get this all the way I wanted to. And, you know, it's well worth it. I'm very pleased with the way it looks. Now, the last piece would be is, you know, a lot of people would, or most people, I guess, put a finish on their bench. I've shied away from that for the simple reason is I like the look of the raw wood. I like the fact that when it gets a little dirty or messed up, I can run some sandpaper over it and get it back to a fresh look. Right or wrong, that's how I do it. I'm real pleased, and now I'm ready to get on to my next job. So, thanks for stopping by.